Greetings, I'm Mark with Unlimited Story, unlimited-story.com, a channel dedicated to writing, world building, marketing, and most importantly, getting things done. But 99% of the time, it really is about Kindle Vella, because that's what's hot these days. So if you want to support this channel and the things that I do, just check out my stories on Kindle or Kindle Vella. Information in the links, description below. Super. Let's move on. Okay, so the first thing you may be noticing is, Mark, you're not wearing an Unlimited Story t-shirt. And yes, my friend, you are very perceptive. This actually came sent to me by today's author, Stevenson, author of The Victors, Order of the Dragon Riders, a story in Tebas. If you would like to check out his stuff, links are in the description below to like his little Etsy store. He makes all these designs. I like D&D and bards specifically, so this is pretty great for me. Anyway, here is what the story is about. Tulaq is a leader of an elite group of dragon riders who belong to an order known as the Victors. The Victors are dedicated to the protection of the several countries known collectively as the Cousin Countries. During the course of a battle at Yufi, one of Tulaq's riders is taken prisoner and then kidnapped by a third party during a brash rescue attempt. Will Tulaq be able to find and rescue Yufi, or will his duties prevent him from doing so? Tags are dragon, fantasy fiction, magic, dragon riders, fantasy adventure, fantasy dragons, epic fantasy. I'm willing to bet there's a lot of dragons and a lot of fantasy in here. And this image looks like it must be Tulaq? I'm guessing. So let's see what this story is all about. I've just finished reading the first 3 of The Victors, Order of the Dragon Riders, a story of Tebas. And the first thing I'm going to say is, the world building be strong in this one. They don't just go to a river, they go to a very specifically named river. So if you're new to serial fiction, this is not common. World building isn't like the primary focus, but the world in this one is pretty well focused. And the action actually, like, things get moving pretty quick. So let's get going. Episode number 1, we meet Myra. She is a dark elf. She's pretty much a witch. I get a feeling she's a bad guy, but she'll eventually become like a frenemy or something like that. So what ends up happening, she has this masked dude who's got like some snot coming out of his face. His name is Suru, something like that. And he like tries getting a peek of her as she gets dressing, or undressed, sorry. But no, he doesn't, because she already calls him out as like, don't you dare look at me, or basically I'm going to have your head going up your whatever. She's not a nice person, more or less. So anyway, there's an elf that's in a cage, and then there's also this enslaved Fell. So Fell, I'm pretty sure, are like orcs, but they're not really like orcs because they're all hairy. So now I think they're like Chewbacca. Okay, what's happening? They get chased by these dire wild dogs. And that's about it. She blasts them with some magic stuff. They lose one, and they lose like their Fell dude. But you know, my policy is if you don't actually see him die, they're not really dead. So maybe that guy's gonna come back. Okay. They're moving on. They get to the safety of this like Fell city where they're looking for their buddy Mazzari. Okay, and Mazzari tells them that they spotted some demons in the sky, and by that they mean basically dragons. Okay. Episode number 2. Well, somebody was flying a dragon that they weren't supposed to. Well, that's sort of not really true. Okay, so what ends up happening? We're going to start out with Tulaq. Tulaq is this very important human dude who is I'm assuming the head of the Victors, but he seems like a pretty prominent role. The Victors are just this kind of like, I don't know if I want to say they're like an international group, but they're a group of guys who they kind of just do whatever they want, I guess. So far, I haven't found out anything that tells me different. So I'm sure they have loyalties to, you know, their factions or friends or family and blah, 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 which we'll be covering in a little bit. Okay, Tulaq has a dragon. Dragon's name is Fury. Small, black, and really good. Throws like mad fireballs and is pretty much some premium dragon. Then there is Effervescent, the naughty green dragon that got spotted by those Fell. Okay, so that is Yufi's dragon. Yufi is basically Tulaq's girlfriend, I'm guessing. She's got a sweet tan, and people do not like her. Okay, why? 1, a bunch of racist people. 2, they're a bunch of sexist people. And 3, her dragon was in the sky and got spotted. So Harris got very angry, told him off, and then Tulaq told him to go suck some eggs. Yeah, a lot of people in this story do pretty much stand up for themselves. They're like, suck it, get out of my face. Like, pretty much every character. It's been like, I don't like you, or you don't like me, and tough beans. So whatever the case, they move on. The city that the Fell have is like covered by a sandstorm or something like that. But whatever the case, Tulaq is just bombing it like crazy because they have like key targets because they're attacking this city. I'm sure there's a reason why. And then there's a war. But there's a lot more Fell than they thought they were going to be running into. And Yufi ends up getting captured. Tulaq ends up getting hurt. And that is essentially the end of episode number 3. And on to that was episode number 2. Moving on to episode number 3. We meet Prince Hammond. So I do not like princes. I don't like royalty. I don't like any of that kind of stuff. And this character's at least got a nice little twist. So he is arguing with his dad. He's like, Daddy, I do not want control of this land. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh, spoiled rich kid problems. But we got a little bit of twist. So after him and his dad have a little bit of an argument and so on about this land, he goes, I was like, I'm hitting the bar. So he takes his dragon. Apparently he is also a victor. I guess if you got a dragon, you're not a victor. You got to be a really good dragon rider to become a victor. They only discuss it a little bit because there's not that many victors. So he goes to the bar. And this is where kind of the nice changes. He goes to the bar and he's like, the bartender's like, yo, Majesty, have a beer on us. And he's like, no, I'm rich. Throws down his money. He's like, everyone gets drinks on me. And so that was cool. I guess he's probably a popular person out in the city with the commoners. And he meets up with his secretive girlfriend, Ashley, I guess. And they talk about their secretive ways. But honestly, that doesn't last because Fury, sweet black dragon of Tulaq, shows up. And then Prince Hammond's like, yo, where's Tulaq? And then, because the dragons can't talk, but they're super smart and they're like good boys. They're basically like really intelligent dogs and they're really nice and everything's great. So Fury's like, come with me, but without saying come with me. so he takes them, they meet up, and Hammond's like, bro, how's Yufi and stuff? And Tulaq's like, we're getting their back, right? And so the victors are very close, obviously. Well, I shouldn't say obviously. I mean, they are. They're very close. They're like the very closest boy band you've ever met. And Hammond's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't be because I'm going to be a king. And this is some, stuff that I probably shouldn't be involved in. And then Tulaq's like, dude, I thought we were like bros. Aren't we the best boy band on earth? And Hammond's like, yep, you're right. Let's go do it. And here we go. So that's episode number 3. And they're going to go off and save Yufi, I'm guessing. Well, according to the description, it doesn't look like it's going to go so great. So we'll see how that goes. And that's it. My one sentence summary. The victor is going to be dealing with some Fell. And yeah, it's not going too great. So if you like this kind of stuff, consider subscribing or at least watching another one of my videos that YouTube recommends if you like this kind of stuff. And yeah, if you want to have your story reviewed, hit me up on the Discord. Everything you need to know. Description below. Peace.